Big Thumb! Ah. swipe. Big thumb. Jaguar swipe. Bubble punch. Jaguar swipe.
Cloud Dragon!
Jaguar swipe! Pommel punch! Jaguar swipe! swipe. Ah! Saltando!
Okay, please come again.
Bravo! Jaguar swipe! Homing pendulum. Totem attack! Jaguar swipe! Huh? Huh? Homing pendulum! Jaguar swipe! Jaguar swipe! Homing pendulum! Ha!